is the 35th anniversary of Mo Better Blues. I love that film by Spike Lee. When you ask people what Spike Lee's top films, people say, Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X, Clockers, Inside Man, Crooklyn. Like people, Spike's made a lot of really good films, Jungle Fever. But to me, Mo Better Blues is probably his most underrated. Like it was the film that he made after Do the Right Thing. And I don't know if a lot of people saw it after that film because it was Do the Right Thing. It was like School Days. It was like She's Gotta Have It, School Days, Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, Jungle Fever, and then Malcolm X. That streak alone is just amazing. Oh my God, that's filmmaking at its best, man. He was so good at it. But Mo Better Blues was great because this is the first time that Denzel was like in this sexy leading man role. And before the most part, Denzel always played characters that was a little edgy, but this was like full on, I won't say a villain role, but not the greatest guy. Is his character Bleak. Not the greatest guy. Because he was so focused on being the best trumpeter ever. And he was just kind of stubborn in his way, in a lot of ways too. And he had these two girlfriends, I'm not gonna spoil it, played by Cinda Williams and Joelle Lee, Spike Lee's sister. So he was figuring out who did he really love between those two. And there's a great scene with them and him when they both came to see him play. I won't reveal what that scene is, but man, the pimp game that Denzel dropped during that whole that whole scene when both women showed up was just amazing, man. It's just like when you see Denzel in St. Elsewhere at that point, because you had Glory, but when you see Denzel in St. Elsewhere, it's like, oh wow, he's like the stereotypical nice guy, and you just saw him the way he was, just almost being a player, is just fantastic. And then we have Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes was in a supporting role, but in a lot of ways he was almost like a co-lead. And Wesley was around, like Wesley was in films and stuff. He was in Michael Jackson's Bad Video. I think he was in that film with Goldie Hawn and Woody Harrelson, the football film or the baseball. I think he was in Major League. I think, but Wesley was never really that guy, and Spike put him in that position. I think it was Shadow he played, and that just skyrocketed Wesley after that, because then you had New Jack City and Jungle Fever and Passion 57, even Tu Wong Fu, which is kind of crazy, and then we have the Blade series. It's like, man, Wesley was that dude. Wesley was so good in that film, and there's a reason. Like right after that, I think the film right after that was Jungle Fever with Wesley, and then after that, Spike went back to Denzel with Malcolm X. But man, you have Wesley Snipes and Denzel Washington, not even at their peak powers yet, and you wish that like Denzel and Wesley would work again. But it's kind of weird with Denzel. Like he's good friends with Sam Jackson, and they've never worked together. I think did Sam show up in Mo Better Blues? He might, because Spike used him a lot. I can't remember if Sam was in Mo Better Blues or not. He probably wasn't. No, yeah, it was. Yeah, he played a pivotal role in Mo Better Blues towards the end of the film. Yeah, that's what Sam popped up at. But they never really, him and Denzel really, as far as like a full-on film together, I don't think Sam and Denzel ever did anything together like that. And then you had Cinda Williams, and she was beautiful. And even Joelle Lee. Like, technically, when you watch the film and you see Denzel choosing between Joelle and Cinda, it's almost like, well, that's a no-brainer. But shout out to Joelle, man. She played like the regular girl. Like, Cinda was like the fantasy girl, and Joelle was like the regular girl. And you saw the push and pull between those two. And then this push and pull between Denzel and him when it came to music, where Denzel was more the traditional jazz artist, and Wesley was looking at more soft jazz, commercial jazz, almost like everybody loves Najee, like Najee and Gerald Albright versus maybe Wynton Marsalis, right? Where you have that push-pull of traditional jazz or urban jazz, which actually packs seats more, make more money. Which way do you go? You had the Turturro brothers, led by John Turturro, and the shadiness of club owners when they don't pay their musicians and their artists. And a lot of this is probably inspired by Spike Lee's dad, Bill Lee, who was a jazz artist himself. And the music was done by Terence Blanchard. Now, this is like, what, 1990? We're in the midst of New Jack Swing at this point. So New Jack Swing is all everybody did dancing. doing the Running Man, all that stuff. MC Hammer out there dancing. Everybody having a good time. And then in the midst of all this, we have all this wonderful jazz. And this is why I love the era that I came through. Because you can still have that party music, but at the same time, you're getting this jazz education from Spike Lee. And then after that, we have like Tribe Called Quest and Gangstar and Nickel Planets. And we have all this infusion of jazz into hip hop and Gangstar, which is just amazing. So I'm always blessed to come through the 90s just because you do have party music and hip hop that appeals to you when you're in your late teens, early 20s, but then you're also given this foundation of jazz. Man, just, which even though you're not into jazz, a lot of people picked up that jazz, that Mo Better Blues soundtrack, and they just maybe play in the background. Maybe they weren't paying attention to it, but the music was in your ear. So shout out to Spike Lee, man. Shout out to Spike Lee, Denzel, Wesley. The funny thing is Bill Nunn and Giancarlo Esposito, who played Radio Raheem and Bugging Out and Do the Right Thing, they were in it, and you expected them to have like a big role in it, and they had tiny parts in that film. Like Spike had this troupe of actors that he used, man. Like Giancarlo, because Giancarlo was in School Days, Do the Right Thing, and Mo Better Blues. Bill Nunn the same way, School Days, Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues. So he had like a troupe of actors that he was using from time to time. Lawrence Fishburne was in School Days. Like, it's just, if you look at more so than Tyler Perry, and I'm gonna try not to bust on Tyler Perry, but if you look at the actors that Spike Lee used from School Days on, and the talent that he introduced, there's a lot of people in Hollywood that's still working today that Spike Lee either gave their first opportunity or really gave them a spotlight of how talented they are as actors. Giancarlo Esposito did not start with Breaking Bad. He was in School Days with Spike Lee. Sam Jackson did not start off with Quentin Tarantino in Pulp Fiction. He was in School Days with Spike Lee. Shout out to Spike Lee, man. Shout out to Spike Lee. Shout out to Mo Better Blues. To me, one of his most underrated films. So what do you think? Do you think Mo Better Blues is Spike Lee's most underrated film? Or do you have another one?